Good afternoon, everyone. This is our regularly scheduled meeting of the Blight Review Board on Wednesday, October 11, 2023, here in room 206 of Darien Town Hall. So there are some pending minutes from July 12, which I think I circulated. And if anyone would care to make a motion to approve them, I would appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Burke. A second, Mr. Washeka, thank you. Any comments, corrections, changes, anything else? Then those in favor, please raise your hand of approval. Thank you. That is done. At this point, our third item on the agenda does not appear to need any attention today. There is no one here to discuss pending issues, so we can go to the fourth item, which brings Mr. Ferentz to the fore. Mr. Ferentz?
And of course, Mr. Ferentz has to change screens here, I'm sorry.
Okay, whatever you like.
Sorry about that. But,
No. I'm glad you're doing it, not me.
Okay. So, all these pictures were taken yesterday,
Okay,
so that you have an understanding.
good.
And this is 16-001. The
I know this one still annoys the neighbors.
It does. I get complaints. I got a complaint within the last 6 weeks that the back of the house is continuing to deteriorate, and I can't see the back of the house from the
Right.
public way, so.
Right. I don't know what street it is that would be behind it, but,
Mystic Lane, except there would be a property on Mystic Lane.
Yeah,
is that right? Okay.
so.
All right, there is a
It's
lien
being kept
file.
up, but, I mean, you know, there's stuff growing in the front gutter, but that's all dying because of the season.
Yeah. I just don't understand why the family isn't doing something about it. We know the bank has touched base with us, but they are not doing anything about it, as I understand it. Somebody cut the lawn at one time, but that's been let go.
But sorry, are we still fining?
Yes,
Um,
right, yes,
No, I don't think we are. Wait a minute.
aren't we?
No, we stopped finding them.
Okay.
We did? Right.
Yeah, I could,
No, I mean, because again, I get it doesn't look great, but if it's not blighted and it's just,
So we filed a lien on.
I don't have
March.
the rest of the paperwork for this address with me, but I'm relatively certain that we're not finding them.
yeah,
Okay.
no, because it says watch, so.
Right.
Yeah,
We do have a lien on the property of $26,300.
Has M&T foreclosed on it?
No, I don't believe that was their plan. I think they were being paid and know the family somehow or other. But didn't have any more that they would do, even though clearly their security is at some risk, you would think. I don't know how much their mortgage is, but anyway. Should we reconsider a lien again? Is it?
I think
But
so.
how can we lien, if there's no fine, if there's no blight, how can we, there's no fine?
Well, there's clearly overgrowth in the front yard. And the property certainly seems, what's our word, dilapidated. Mr. Ferentz, you have a professional opinion about whether this has two conditions of blight?
well, I would say the conditions of the front gutter with the plants growing in it, at some point is going to start working its way into the building. So I think that's a blight condition. We have plants or bushes, whatever, growing on the side of the house, and let me see. in the front, but that's sort of a hedge line. I mean, it's not very well defined. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's a stone wall underneath all that. So I guess we could say that that's two conditions.
Was the neighbor who complained behind the house?
No, I believe it's the gentleman to the right. I'm sorry, to the left. And he called up to tell me that a tree fell down in the driveway, and it's a safety hazard because no one can get into the driveway if there's a fire. I talked to Public Works. Public Works determined that it was their tree, so they went out and cleaned it up. And then the next thing he said to me was that the back of the house is in terrible shape. Well, I'm sorry, but I can't see it.
But he could take a picture and send it to you?
Probably,
But doesn't the blight have to be something that's visible to the
To
public?
everyone?
yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to, like,
No, I hear you.
Well, it's supposed to be visible from the public way.
Yeah.
Okay. Ally, we have no contact with the owner?
Never had.
no one lives there.
I don't think so.
No.
No.
Well, maybe we'd stir it up by issuing a hearing notice and see who, if anyone shows up, and get the
Maybe
fines
take a
going.
closer look before the next meeting on whether there's more besides the gutter growth and the moss.
Yeah, well, in the growth on the side of the house, for the
Yeah.
picture we just saw, I think that's unkempt. So, and if somebody wants to debate the subject when we have that hearing, we can debate it.
Yeah.
But I think we ought to get them here.
Okay.
I think you might want to just send a courtesy copy to the bank as well. I think we have that information.
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Here.
So the next meeting will be the 8th, and that is less than 30 days away, I believe. So we're gonna have to send the notice for December 13. I assume you're not gonna be able to get this out tomorrow, for example, so with the usual cushion we need,
Not really.
yeah, no, that's all right. So December 13, I think we should call them in for a hearing.
Okay.
All right. Next,
So we have 17011.
right, yeah, I've seen this one recently, that's really bad too.
Yeah, the plants are starting to die because of the weather. It looks a little better than it did last month, I think.
Some flowers on them.
Yeah,
Right,
but it's pretty much in exactly the same condition as it was 6 months ago when I started here.
yeah.
And someone's living in that.
That's what I'm told, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And fines are running.
and yes, they are. We've got 2 cars which I believe are abandoned. I mean, this one here, it's up on jacks, it's got a flat tire in the rear. So,
Is that a senior alley?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any
Two
contact with
seniors
the,
or-
One.
with the family?
Well, I'm not really obligated to say, but in this case has been one of the original ones.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's no one else you can get to,
He's competent.
Oh, I see. Well, probably by next spring, we'll be pushing 100,000, and that's kind of my thought of when to go for foreclosure. So until then, I don't know that there's anything we can do. Fine is running on it, so,
There's really nothing. I mean, we've tried, we've given him dumpsters and
yeah.
it has, but it's beyond filling up a dumpster.
Okay, unless there's something else next, Mr.
No.
Terrence?
17-019.
Oh, yeah.
This hasn't changed since last month. It was fairly well cleaned up last month, or 2 months ago, I'm sorry, at our last meeting. I mean, it looks fairly decent. She's got a lot of growth on the side of the house there, but it's behind a fence. And this side of the yard, if you remember the last time she was in, she had gotten a lot of this wood taken out of here, and she claims that the person that took the wood that first time is gonna come back for that.
Mhm. So that picture was yesterday, huh? 'Cause
Yes.
I see it regularly, and there's, I guess toward the side of the house, there is a bunch of stuff. It just, well, have we had a complaint lately?
No, I have not.
So this is on our watch list. Anybody want to do anything else at this point?
No, but I'd certainly like to find ways to get stuff off this list, so I'm not sure when, but at a certain point, I don't know. Not
Yeah.
saying we need a policy, but we should think about, we've watched it enough and time to remove it.
Okay. I lean so close to this being still blight that I would rather keep it on the watch list.
Is there a way we could advise them that if the wood pile could be completely removed, doesn't look like it'd be an awful lot of work, maybe that would tip the scales in favor of removal perhaps?
As to me, myself, the wood is the least of my concerns, really. That car is hiding a bunch of debris at the best, I'll say politely.
Okay.
So I would, if you were in touch with her, I would tell her that, we're still not satisfied. I'm not satisfied, for whatever that's worth. I'm just one vote here.
I would agree that I don't think the wood is really the issue. Wood is at least natural.
Yeah,
It's the rag and the whatever else is there.
yeah, there's debris, and there was moss growing out of the eaves, the
Yeah, there's-
roof, I think.
Yeah, I didn't get a better picture of that, but there is moss up there. Not a lot, but it is there.
So, now, we should note for the record, she said that they were going to be tearing it down in a couple of months and replacing it with a prefab. So,
I mean,
anyway.
do you want to notice her to come back in?
I don't recall when she was last in.
How long does a
Not
demolition
Yeah, 2 months ago.
sign have to be up? It has to be
90 days,
90,
I
so
think, they
that,
get 90
yeah, so
days.
it's not happening in.
So if we did it in December, that would be 4 months or a quarter
Since we last saw her.
since we last saw her.
That would be fine by me.
All right, well, why don't we do that?
I think she was last in July. So you want her in here in December?
Please invite her in, because I think technically that's a notice of hearing for R to determine whether or not there is blight. And you should tell her that the conditions we're talking about are debris in the driveway, growth on the house, overgrowth in the landscaping. Does that work for you, Mr. Ferris?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
We can move on to 18002.
Yeah.
The outside of the house, the property is being maintained. The house itself is deteriorating. As you can see, the trim on the window is rotted away and falling off.
Mhm.
The paint is a mess, but I don't think we can talk about paint. Moss on the roof.
Mhm.
Better picture of the window. That screen door's been open since I started looking at this house. And,
Somebody's cut the lawn, I guess.
yeah, they are cutting the lawn. We got mold, or whatever this is here,
Mhm.
moss, I guess. And the siding itself is starting to fail.
Mhm. But I think are already, we've got 2 liens already.
We have 2 liens, but somebody asked me 2
Right.
meetings ago, You stopped the fines as of March 5th at your April 12th meeting. So they are not being fined currently.
Okay. Because we didn't think paint was enough?
I believe that was the
But
reason.
because it sold, that was.
Oh, yeah, this
Yeah.
one
Oh,
has
that's right too, yeah, it's old. And they still haven't paid
the
the
lien.
liens.
Yeah, I know council was interested in pursuing that issue. Has it in fact been sold a second time?
I don't believe so. I can go back to I quickly got a call from the attorney who was currently dealing with it, who wasn't aware of the
Lien?
lien. No.
That's not good.
Isn't this,
Quick title
like,
check.
aren't our liens like it's on a
It
registry someplace?
should be
Yeah,
a town hall record,
Yeah.
indeed, if
Public
they've done their title search, but. who
Found
knows?
under the name of the owner.
Well, I think that it was proposed that because it was an LLC that bought the building, they may not have done a title search.
Okay.
I don't buy that. No.
I don't know, I know somebody said that.
Okay. No, that would be crazy.
Well, I agree, I
Spending
agree.
something in six figures, I'm sure.
Yeah,
So, all right, so what to do next? Well, if the professional opinion is that at this point there's maybe only one condition of blight, then I thought I remembered something about chipping paint and whatnot. I'll go back and check the definition, but I don't have it handy. So anyway, shall we leave it for this month and revisit as we do all these things?
okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if we take it off the list, the lien still remains.
Yeah, sure.
They have to, you know,
Someday,
resolve it,
yeah.
or the people
Yeah.
that acquire the property have to be okay with the fact that they're buying an encumbered
Right,
piece of property.
and the town can move to foreclose on it at any time. Can't imagine why anybody would buy a property that way, but anyway, okay. All right, next, sir. Yes, sir. please.
18004.
Oh, yes, okay.
Um,
Any improvement?
Looks good from there.
Hmm.
Well, the grass is growing.
Mhm.
He took all the stuff away from the right side of the house.
Hmm.
He cleaned up the plants that were growing in the right of way. And when you get to the opening,
Hmm.
some grass is growing, some grass is not. And we've still got 4 containers and a trailer back there,
Yeah. that would-
along with a backhoe loader.
Is that backhoe new, or was it there? So it's
I think
been
No, it's been there.
It's been there for a while,
Uh,
along with boats, at least
We've
one
got-
boat.
I think a boat to the right of that. And on the left, there's another boat.
Hmm.
It looks like a pickup truck and a little camper.
Mhm. So this is not what you're supposed to look like in a residential zone.
No,
So the liens
Is
continue.
that black plastic in the front there?
yeah, it's some kind of a mesh that there's I don't know, maybe a 16-foot opening for a driveway. And he stretches that across so people driving by can't see in. And for some reason yesterday it was down,
Hmm.
so I got a better shot.
Yeah. And even with it up, you can see in.
Oh yeah, you can see through, but it's easier this way.
Right, right. All right, nothing we can do. Selectmen have not given us any word, so. And this time of year, I'm sure we won't hear until after November. That's fine.
Okay,
Okey doke, next.
18005. This, sorry. This property
Oh, yeah.
is still completely overgrown.
Yeah.
Those are the only three
I
pictures I
think
took.
this one, we should just looking at the time, we should refile a new lien, because it's been almost.
Isn't this the fellow who's passed
Passed
away?
Yeah, he passed away on September 11th, yes. I've been in contact with his nieces and his wife. The wife lives somewhere in Westchester. The two nieces that I've spoken with, the last time was today, I gave her a call. They live in California. They're trying to get an attorney that can handle probate both in Connecticut and New York, because she lives in New York and the house is obviously in Connecticut. She claims they're actively working at getting someone, and she says, we want to do whatever the town wants, but we don't know exactly what that is. And I said, well, what you need to do is clean up the property.
Can't we just give them the number for a landscaper? I mean, no, in all seriousness, like, somebody's paying the electric bill, right? Like,
I don't know if the electricity is turned on. He hasn't lived there in a while.
Right.
I mean, he claims that he used to claim he lived there, but the neighbors say that he'd pull up occasionally, take the mail out of the mailbox and go off to wherever he was
It seems to me the
residing.
last time we saw the house, though, it looked pretty grim
Oh, yes. It's always looked
when
right.
the vegetation wasn't covering it.
Yeah, right.
so you're saying that it's better with the vegetation? Oh,
That's a
I'm
tough
just saying
call.
there's more issue than a landscaper.
Yeah, that's right. It would only uncover an unsightly house.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, frankly, the family is motivated to liquidate this particular asset.
Well, the other issue is that the wife is not on the deed, which puts that through probate, which means, well, they asked if they could get a landscaper to do some work in there, and I said, well, yeah, you probably could, but I'm not sure legally you can, because it's not technically your property.
Right.
But legally or not legally, like, I mean, if you send a landscaper to go cut my lawn, like, whether it's illegal or not, like, it's happened. Like, we're not involved. I'm just saying, it's like, is one relative doing something for another? It's like,
It's a trespass. You really can't do that.
but it's not our business. I mean,
Right.
I mean,
If they do it,
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
I don't
I don't know,
know-
I guess,
I
as
don't
I'm
know
looking at
anybody
this,
would
we're
complain.
fining this property. So they're going to sell the property, and if we haven't liened it, we're not protected.
Right.
So then,
And
so it would seem to me we should put the lien on it.
we have
so-
a lien, don't we? Yeah, we do.
No, but it's from last year.
Okay, yep, we're up, you're right, it's now a year.
No, it's
Well-
6 months.
4/24/23, because the second lien was filed.
No,
Fi-
it's
five?
10/6/22.
Yeah, where is four?
Oh, sorry, this goes on
Right,
to the
it
second,
goes on to the
sorry,
second.
sorry, you're right, no.
Oh.
Sorry,
okay.
I missed that, no, sorry.
Yeah, all of our
It's
liens
not
are
good
4 or
when they
5
make it
months
to
old.
2 lines,
Yeah.
Oh, I see,
Sorry.
2 lots, right.
4/24.
Oh, that's
No,
because there were 2 files technically at one
Yeah,
point.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, so there's that, yeah. So that lien is running.
Yes.
I think we've got to be patient, see if they get counsel and get administering it and probate, and hopefully they
and
will want to sell it soon.
again, they asked me, is there a way we can stop the bleeding as far as the fines?
Well, I think the answer to that is yes, they just have to remediate the blight. I mean,
Okay.
I don't think that we should be stopping the fines if they're not taking any steps to,
Well, they could argue that at the moment, nobody's authorized to do anything. And so,
well,
we-
who's asking to stop the fines? Nobody's authorized to ask, no, I'm sorry, I'm just like,
The wife.
I'm not very sympathetic.
the wife, or I guess if they're still married, she obviously has an interest in this estate.
Yeah, and so that is the person, to me, that should be hiring the landscaper.
I would say also, they can come to us whenever there's a proposed sale or some other time, and we can negotiate. We don't have to collect every penny of these things. So,
Okay.
either way. I could go either way. I'd stop them or negotiate later.
Well, I don't think we, I don't think we stop the, the fines. I mean, what can we do to stop the bleeding? I mean, I think Mr. Rashek is correct. Like, remediate the property, or come and tell us that you're going to take some affirmative steps, but in the absence of any communication for them, I mean, there's no real reason to stop the
Give
fines.
them consideration. Well, I guess until somebody's appointed executor, and if that person will then step up, that would be a good thing.
Yeah.
Or administrator. Okay. Okay. I do agree that it would need really, get rid of the overgrowth and tear down the house is what's really necessary. Because that's an attractive nuisance, I would think, to people.
Yeah, I'm not sure what their intent is with the house.
Uh-huh.
The only thing I will say to your comments is that for them coming in, and I don't know the situation other than what I've been told, is, like I say, that the wife is, I think, in her 80s, and she lives in Westchester. The one time that she came to town hall to try and figure out what was going on, one of the nieces from California had flown in to bring her here. So there may be a problem with getting them
Here.
here,
Yep.
but I don't know that for a fact. That's just my assumption.
Okay, then they should communicate with you and tell us that.
I mean,
That's
Okay.
fine.
It's like, the property we had for all that time on Hollow Tree, where, there were estate issues.
Oh, yeah, right.
But, we kept it
Title issues.
going, and they came in, and we.
Yep, that's pretty good incentive at $100 a day to get them to
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
connect with us, so.
agreed.
Okay, and status quo remains?
All right. 21001.
Oh, yeah, wait for
This, nothing's happened with this property in the last 6 months that I'm aware of.
Someone's living in it, right?
No, no
No.
one's living there.
Deceased.
The neighbors are complaining, probably on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
What can we do? I said, well,
Ally, did
we're
you
trying
say-
Yeah,
Oh,
and it's his niece who's,
I've sent,
she's power of attorney or,
I sent a letter to the niece, I think in June or July, and it got returned unopened. So I'm not getting any response out of her.
Do we know if anything's going on in the probate court? That would be, no?
he died well over a year ago. I feel like it might have been 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Right.
I think I was told it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Could you just ask the court if they have record of that name?
Sure.
I spoke to the realtor who had listed it at one point in time, and she said the niece was Lori Titus, who
Yeah.
lived in East Windsor at 20
We don't
Holcomb
need to-
Terrace.
We shouldn't get into that.
I'm just wondering if he has that address.
Yes, that's who I sent
Got it.
Okay.
the letter to.
Well, let's see, if there's an executive or administrator appointed, of course, we would have that address and we could rely on that, I guess, I hope.
And I would confirm that with the probate court.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would it be worth, Mr. Ferentz also calling the realtor?
Couldn't hurt.
I mean, if you have
To-
to
I-
just basically say, we're trying to get some movement on
I
this house,
did
like,
have this conversation with her in July,
oh,
Okay.
and in fact, her mother lives next door, and they would love to buy the property,
oh,
Hmm.
but
we can't get,
this niece won't respond to them.
But
But maybe
this is
she's
the
moved,
mother?
who knows? That's, if it's returned,
This is the mother of whom?
the mother of the realtor
Oh, the
who
mother
had
of the
listed it at
realtor,
one
okay.
time, yeah,
I see. And it's not now listed for sale.
no.
No.
So we need something to happen in the probate court,
Okay.
whether it's ancillary from another state or a Darien probate needed. Okay,
All right.
check probate. What else? All right, next.
23001.
All right.
Again, all these pictures were taken today,
Yeah.
or, I'm sorry, yesterday. This is the front of the house. This is the right side of the house. The property to the right, they're building a new house.
Mhm.
They tore that house down,
Mhm.
which actually looked like it was in better shape than the one we're talking about.
No
Okay.
one's in this one, right?
Oh, yeah, somebody's in it.
Somebody's in it, okay.
At least one person and possibly two.
Has this one been
Yeah.
determined to be blighted? It doesn't say here.
No,
Well-
it hasn't. This is when we
No.
had sent we would have had a hearing today. Well, technically, we would have had the discussion at the September meeting, which
Yes.
didn't happen.
And they did not show
They
up.
didn't show up. But I
Um,
think,
This has been going on since March
yeah,
with Mr. Solito. And at the March meeting, he said that basically they were playing telephone tag, and I'm trying to get a hold of her, and she's trying to get a hold of me, but we just haven't connected. And that was probably true back then. I think now we've all connected, and she just doesn't appear to be interested in working.
Hmm.
I know that Human Services offered to pay for a landscaper to go in there and help her out, and it took like 4 months for her to actually come up with a landscaper and a price, and she didn't do what she needed to do, and she was told what needed to happen and hasn't responded since.
So we offered to partially pay for the landscaper because we couldn't pay for the whole bill, and she said she wasn't able to pay the other part of it, and then I referred her back to the Blight Board because I said, we can't just partially
Hmm.
do the work, it's not gonna remediate the property, so the town's not gonna give the money to just do half the work.
Hmm. Right.
And I haven't had contact, so,
How much was the,
roughly $2,000,
The whole thing?
yeah.
All right, so following,
can I just ask a question?
yes,
Do we we collect these fines, do we not have the ability to put
we
some of
don't
that-
actually collect the fines, or we have not
Yeah,
ever,
okay.
as far as I know. We're accruing these fines,
Yeah,
so.
okay.
And we're not accruing fines on this house
Right.
because we haven't declared it as blighted.
Yeah,
Right.
no, and again, I know it brings a host of it, I just wasn't sure, just because from a neighborhood standpoint, if like $2,000 would make it go away, it's.
Yeah,
Well,
who knows what it would
But that's just the
uncover.
landscaping again.
Right, yeah,
yeah, then she's got to do something about the moss on the roof.
Yeah.
Uh,
yeah.
So technically speaking, did we advise her that we would consider this today?
No,
Okay, so we need to send her a notice as well. Her, them, whatever. I don't think
So-
we can impose $100 a day fine without her having that notice.
well, did we not,
Yeah, we told her about the September date. I know she didn't show up, but we didn't have a meeting.
yeah, but we were all here.
Well,
I-
keep that quiet. No, literally, we did not have a meeting.
Okay,
So there would have been nothing to happen.
so
if
I'll
she
send
didn't
her
show up.
another notice for December?
November. November.
It's not 30 days.
It's
I
not
mean,
30 days.
It won't be 30 days when she gets it. Sorry, folks.
And just as an aside, the letter that I sent her certified mail for the September meeting came back to me unopened.
Hmm.
So I had to send a marshal out to deliver the letter.
I would go
So-
directly to the marshal and
Yeah,
don't waste your time.
yeah, I think that she's well aware of how things work, and she's trying to avoid them in any way she can.
Well, she lives there. All we have to do is leave it at her usual place of abode, and that should do it.
Okay,
Yeah. So you have the issues for the notice, obviously you do, so you can just send the same notice, which I guess we were talking about overgrowth of vegetation and growth of moss on the
Debris.
and debris.
and
Is there?
This wall on the garage is, it was actually, there was a section of it that was actually coming off the garage, and it looks as if they either pulled it down or nailed it back up, but I can't really get a good picture of it from the street, but I would say that that's also an issue.
Okay, then we should let her know that, or them, or whatever.
Okay,
Alrighty.
moving on. No, there is a better picture.
Yeah.
But there was a piece that was hanging off.
So I would refer to an unsafe condition of the structure, something like that.
Okay. I will do that.
Alrighty.
23003. The neighbor behind, this is, the house is off to the right. This is a garage in the back. And this neighbor has, he had a complaint that he's been looking at tarps all over this building.
Yeah, I remember that.
I've been in touch with the woman twice in the last month. She has an attorney who is helping her with logistics, I guess. She's trying to find a builder. She told me that she would have a builder in place. She hoped, sorry. By 5, no, that's not right. Well, anyway, she thought she'd have a builder in place about 2 weeks ago. I spoke with her niece today, who was looking, or actually yesterday, who was looking for clarification on how to fill out the building permit. So I went to building and I talked to them and they told me what she should do, and I called them up and told them what to do. So hopefully they're moving along. They appear to be moving along.
I mean, they rent out the front 2 apartments.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're having income, that couldn't be the
She doesn't seem to be
issue.
opposed to fixing this up. The problem seems to be her lack of how to navigate the system and a bit of a language barrier.
Okay.
Where are the apartments in the
In that
structure in
building on
front?
the right.
Yeah, this first building.
It's
Oh,
been-
okay.
It's been a rental property for years.
Oh, okay. And, all right, so should we keep the heat on to,
Well, I think we should keep it on a watch because she does seem to be
okay,
cooperating, let's say.
okay. Anybody disagree?
Nope.
Okay.
All right.
All righty. Bad news, I flipped this over.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, goodness.
All right.
I thought we were done.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, all right, well, we should
I
pick up the pace.
don't want you guys to feel that these meetings are too quick.
Yeah, right, well, let me worry about that. Yeah, right.
All right, 23004, this is a house that
It was burned.
had a fire
burned down.
in it. The neighbors were complaining about plywood in the side yard, an orange fence which was running across this wall, which was falling into the sidewalk, and the fact that the grass hadn't been cut. I finally found the address of the owner in New York, sent him a registered letter. I got contacted by their attorney. I explained to him what the problems were. He said, we'll take care of it right away. The orange fence got taken down within the last 2 days. We'll get the lawn cut and the plywood taken away. He said that they're almost settled with the insurance company from the fire. And he'd like 90 days additional in order to try to get that settled. And also there's a pending lawsuit in the court in Bridgeport against the painting contractor who actually sanded the asbestos shingles that were on the house.
But that's not relevant for us, right? Like,
Well, no,
that could
other
go-
than-
That could take years for them to sort
Yeah.
out a lawsuit.
Well, that probably could, but as far as the insurance settlement, I
Yeah,
think that
Yep,
we give them time for that, but again, that's up to you,
but
not
that
me.
was 90 days from
So
basically
yesterday,
August.
no, yesterday,
I'm sorry.
or,
Um, Yeah, probably the end of August, because I sent the certified letter on the August 21st.
Yeah, so I don't know, would it make, to me it would, I'm just watching the 30-day clock, but maybe it would be worth sending them a reminder that, hey, you asked for these 90 days, which is gonna be up in about a month, or a month and a half, just so that,
Okay.
or we could do the more official, that we'll have a hearing in December if
and
things
then
aren't
take it
improved.
on, we could do that, and then just cancel it if they've actually
Right,
done what they say they're gonna do. Maybe that's the better, I think that's the better thing.
in the interest of time, I
Yeah.
think it would move things along. Okay,
So we
So
have to
hearing for
serve them
December?
the official
All right.
notice, invite them to the December meeting.
yep,
December's gonna be a busy month.
it is, I'm afraid. Maybe
Did I
we'll
tell
have.
you I'm on vacation, I'm gonna miss that?
No, you didn't, literally? Oh, okay. And you have the issues to include in the notice of potential blight, which now are what do we
Well,
say?
now it's the condition of the house, and the fact that it's been over a year, my understanding, since the fire. So they've had
So it's.
more than enough time to start repairs,
So if we-
excluding the fact that they are waiting for their insurance settlement.
Yeah, but if we say that paint is not an issue, is bare wood an issue, or does it appear dilapidated, which I think is a word used in the definition?
Yeah, it's not, I don't really think it's dilapidated. I think the issue is that the house needs to be renovated from the fire. And I think our language specifically says that they, any building that's been involved in a fire more than 6 months past,
I think that's right.
we
yeah.
address that. So we're over a year now.
Okay. All right, just know that we need two issues and, repair fire damage and,
We've got a couple of boarded up windows, I believe.
okay,
No, we got one up there.
at least one.
And the front door is boarded up, I'm pretty sure.
Well, it's sort of boarded up. I don't understand why they put that board there.
Or leaning.
I don't think it's nailed down.
Okay,
But,
well,
well, we can say they're boarded up windows and doors and fire damage.
yeah, okay. Okey-doke. That may be the last one we do on the 13th, December 13th, but let's see what else we've got.
Well, we have this fella, and he was the other person that was
Oh,
invited to last month's meeting and didn't show up.
All right,
So, this house, I believe was supposed to be torn down and a new house built, but I don't see anything happening. I don't see any building permits or demolition permits. He does have boarded up windows. The right side of the house, second floor storm door, has been like this for 3 or 4 months. We've got moss growing on the roof, and I think there's a hole in the roof here.
all right. Oh, up at the top there? Oh.
I got a better picture, or a close-up. I mean, I don't know if that's sealed up or not. I can't really tell. It looks like it might be where the chimney was.
All right.
So he was noticed to show up last month and didn't. The
Yeah.
garage, the left side of the garage, let me go back.
Well, should we just?
Here's the
invite-
garage.
I mean, if nothing's changed from the last time and we'd invited them for September, in the interest of moving things along, could we just invite them to December and,
Yep, I think we should.
Okay.
No offense to your great presentation, but
I'm taking.
I'm gonna turn into a
Right.
pumpkin.
Oh, okay.
Yes, right,
Look at the moss growing on the other side of the garage roof.
yeah.
All right.
The moss is always greener on the other side of the garage.
Yes, I think you're right.
Through the wizardry of the ages and the internet, I now have the definition of blight in front of me. And we're on the right track. One of the issues is significant fire or water damage that has not been repaired, so we're talking about that. Overgrown brush and or overgrown grass or weeds of at least 1 foot in height covering a significant portion of a property's front yard. So that's good. Structures that are significantly covered with invasive non-ornamental weeds and or vines, including but not limited to poison ivy. So I think that fits some of what we've talked about today. Missing, broken, or boarded up windows or doors, we got that. Collapsing walls or roof, looked like that might fit the last one.
Possibly.
So seriously damaged, missing, or loose siding, gutters, leaders, shingles, or roofing. So as you send these notices, you might want to have that in front of you to be specific about with these folks.
Okay. All
Okay.
right, 23006.
All right.
This property is, I think, a frequent flyer because we've got a file with this fellow.
But sorry, you filed this, it says opened May 25th. Was it open prior to that?
No, there are all,
Previously.
yeah, there's a previous
Okay, got it.
incident or incidents.
Okay.
So his property is kind of unique. He's got frontage on one road, but the rear of his property is facing another road, another street. So he doesn't have any place to hide things. So he stuck some under the stairs.
So this is the backyard as seen from Crimmins or as seen from something else?
Fitch, is it Fitch? I think it's Fitch.
Could be, yeah.
All right.
Well, if it's seen from a public way, then,
Yeah, I mean, he's got slate lined up here. The neighbor over on this side is like, look what I have to look at every day.
but that,
So then, one day, in the last 5 weeks, I think, this container showed up. So I sent him a letter and I told him he's got to clean everything up and he's got to get a permit from zoning for that container if they'll allow it. So he spoke with zoning, and zoning, his excuse is he's got to get everything out of his first floor, I believe he said, because he's sanding the floors and he needs a place to put everything. And zoning gave him permission to have that container there until November 11th. In the meantime, he's still got stuff everywhere. He's got a generator here, which is just sitting on pallets. It's not hooked up as far as I can tell. He's got all this other stuff, which normally you wouldn't leave in your backyard. Or if you did, nobody would see it, but in his case, everybody drives by it. This is in front of his garage door. If you look up on his back porch, it looks a little bit like a rummage sale, I guess.
So we haven't voted to start fines?
No, we haven't done anything with him.
All right, so
and-
why don't we think about putting him on the calendar for January, since December is filled, and
yeah.
yeah, there are some notations of some things picking up, but, let's bring him in January with the idea of, if nothing's really changed, that we start the fines.
I know I hear you, there was a lot of people we're inviting to December, but like, they may have other plans and may not come, so I'm okay with
How many have we
January,
got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so far? Yeah, and we'll have a list to go through as well. I don't
Yeah,
think we want
okay.
to,
all right.
we do not want to see you as a pumpkin. So, all right, so, where was it? Unsightly or excessive amount of debris certainly seems to be applicable here. So anything else we've got on them?
Well, we've got the generator, which is, I think we have something about unregistered vehicles. Obviously, a generator is not a vehicle, but it's kind of the same thing. I mean, it's an engine and a,
Yeah, you're getting creative now, okay.
I don't know, I have to look at it a little better.
Yeah. All right, well, we're gonna take this up again in our November meeting when we are likely to issue, but we'll be able to consider then.
And hopefully he'll have it cleaned up by then, but
Yeah,
I'd be surprised.
Unless there's any, I mean, there's no real way you could push a notice out tomorrow, even if it was just one,
oh,
then we could put it in November.
is it, do we really have 30 days? Let me see. Literally, if we start tomorrow, so that's 3, 10,
I think
17 days plus 3 more, so that's 20 days in October. And the meeting would be on the 8th of November. So it's only 28 days,
Yeah, all right. Okay.
technically speaking.
all right,
Okay, next.
23008. We had multiple complaints about this property being, the grass was overgrown, there was debris everywhere, and the house was terrible. The house is
Okay.
gone, I'd like to take it off the list.
Please do.
Okay. See, that was a fast one.
Excellent. All right, let's do a few more like that.
Okay, now we've got this property which somebody complained about.
Oh, yeah, the fence.
The fence looked terrible because half of the boards were off. All the boards are back on that were on the property. I think this is one of 2 places where they're missing some boards, so I don't feel that that's a blight issue.
Good.
The other complaint on this property is that this tree is dead. I have a correspondence from the attorney for this property owner saying that they're going to send their arborist out to look at the tree, and if it is truly dead, which it is, we'll cut it down with the fall cleanup.
Okay.
I think whoever is complaining should be thankful that they're not dealing with some of these other.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, I mean, that really bothers you that much, huh?
yeah. Okay.
Should we take it
I
off?
think we should take
I
it
think
off.
we
the
should
Take it
list.
off, okay,
Yeah.
good. 23010. This is a complaint that the grass was 2 feet high along the sidewalk, making it impossible to walk by. This is a commercial property. Somebody cut the grass along the sidewalk. I assume it was the town, but I'm not sure. So I think we can take this off. The rest of the property needs some attention, but it's only grass. And in the last month, these 2 containers have shown up, so it looks as if someone is about to do something with the property. So I think we can take this one off.
Okay,
So this is our first commercial complaint,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
Yes. All right.
Should we actually take it off or can look at the
Up
grass
to you.
next? I mean, the grass is an issue, I'm sure, and we do specifically say a foot, I guess. I just got concerned about environmental issues, whether we're supposed to,
All right, let's leave it on and let's see where they look like next month.
yeah.
Okay.
Quick review next month. Watch, we'll put that on a watch also. Okay,
23011. The neighbors are complaining that this house has been vacant for probably 2 years. There are open windows, which there really aren't. They've got the screens down, so the screen door is not latched. And you can see how the windows are not open, but the screens are in use.
Sorry, I'm not following. The windows are closed. Nobody's home.
Right, but the neighbors think
The
that
screens are like in the,
they're,
wouldn't the screens either be up or down? There's only one, it's, I'm not sure.
Well, and
Quite getting it.
on this one, I believe this is a screen here.
Okay,
So the window is partially up, I think.
okay. Okay, I
Uh,
don't know what, I'm just not, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
You know, that's a little bit of a safety issue. So, and then this was overgrown here in the backyard, but it's been cut since, I guess last week. And they're complaining about this tree that fell down that they left part of. So I talked to the daughter of the former owner, who today, who explained that the house had a reverse mortgage, and she doesn't have access to the house anymore, and she doesn't know what's going on. So I have to do a little more investigation on this to see if we can figure out what the situation is. Because I don't know, and she didn't
Yeah.
seem to be
But I
quite.
mean, I can't really tell from this picture, but like if they cut it, it's clearly not abandoned. I mean, it's,
Right, well, this woman told me that she had somebody cutting the grass, but then I think the mortgage company took over and somebody did cut it. And that's within the last 10 or 14 days that was cut, because the first time I went out there, it was probably 2 feet high.
just
So
for-
I think this is a watch.
Yeah, for our reference, item 7 among the definition is a vacant building or structure left unsecured or unguarded against unauthorized entry. So I think we've got that anyway. But let's keep it on watch for another month and see what happens.
All right.
How do you make a determination that it's unsecured if you can't actually go and check and see if it's locked?
I think we assume it by its appearance, and let somebody tell us it's secured.
Very well.
Good answer. 2312. This house, I got a complaint about this house. It's there's grass, the grass is 2 feet high. There's shrubs that are untrimmed. I went out and I looked at it, and it needed some work. When I went out yesterday to take the pictures, it looks as if everything has been taken care of. So, again, we can take that off the list. And again, when I get a complaint, I feel that I should bring it to you so that you're aware of it.
Good,
Yeah.
Which is why it's on the list.
Fair enough.
1,000%.
That's fine.
I got another one. Sorry, I forgot about this one. So, again, this time I got a
Thanks,
letter.
Ally.
Bye, Ally. I got a letter unsigned by someone that this property has unregistered vehicles, which, I mean, this is fairly well piled up. I mean, it's got firewood and kindling wood, and this vehicle over here is registered as far as I can tell. This is a side view of the property, and the one other thing is that he's got this camper here, which is up on jack stands. I don't know what the problem with it is, and I don't know if that constitutes blight.
Could be a zoning issue, but I don't think it's blight.
Okay, I'll ask zoning about it. Other than that, those issues, there are no blight issues, so I don't,
Okay,
So you take it off.
I think that's fine. Any objection?
nope.
Yeah.
all right. Now, not to keep you here any longer than I have to, but I need to go into executive session because I have a couple of questions that I need to ask that I don't believe should be on public record.
I mean, those executive session rules are pretty tight.
Yeah, they are, which is why, I say potential litigation for this matter, for those several opportunities we were gonna have tonight.
Oh, okay.
So why don't you try us without naming names? And if you have to use
Well, I have
addresses, street addresses, that's okay.
I have 4 issues with 4 different liens that we filed within the last 6 months.
Okay,
They're incorrect.
oh, really? Well, we don't need to be in executive session for that, we need to
Right.
get it corrected.
Right.
You know.
Okay, so I will show you what the problem is then. I think it was a clerical error, and I happened to notice it when I was looking at Mr. Starkey's file. So we'll use him as an example. So this is his first lien. It started on January 1st, 2022, and went to May 19th, 2022. All right? It was, for some reason, filed on October 6th. I don't know why it was filed so much after May,
Mm-hmm,
and I don't particularly care, as
Right.
long as it was filed.
mm-hmm,
So the next lien should go from May 20th to whatever, not from October 6th.
mm.
Right.
And when they made out the lien, they went from October 7th until April 24th. This is a $14,000 mistake,
Yeah, it's a good catch.
Yeah,
and it's on 4 of the liens that we filed in this time frame.
I
So,
don't think there's any prejudice to us if we simply get it corrected.
right,
So we would just file new liens for the
Yeah.
intermediate period.
right.
I think the only question I guess I would have is, are these all properties where, you know, we're actively liening them, or is it something that has since been corrected and we've stopped? Made the
no,
determination?
they're all actively being,
Yeah, we
Lien.
haven't released or discharged any liens, so.
so,
Okay. So I would file,
from the town attorney,
um,
my recommendation would be to inform the Blight Review Board at their 10/11 meeting so that we can prepare a corrected certificate to cover the missing dates. After the meeting, please also update us on any new liens. And then we can prepare both corrected certificates and new certificates of lien if necessary.
Good,
So
good.
you want them corrected?
right.
Okay.
Although we
I-
should
We should
probably,
make a motion
we should probably vote on each of those properties to
by case number, right,
do
individually.
the corrected liens instead of on bank.
Fine.
Okay, so why don't you, why don't we
You got file numbers for us?
circle back and you can tell us so we can move and vote and
Sure.
we can tell.
So, 17-011.
All right, so
Okay.
wait, let's, I move that we request town council to submit a amended certificate of lien for case number 17-001.
011. Second.
Thank you. You with us?
All- yeah.
No issues? Okay. Then, all in favor? Indicate- Thank you. All right, unanimous?
And then 18-005.
Right. I move that we request town council to file an amended certificate of lien with regard to property 18-005.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Unanimous?
21-001.
21, did you say?
21-001.
Good.
I move that we request town council to file an amended certificate of lien with regard to case number 21-001.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion, concerns, in favor? Raise your hand. Unanimous. Thank you.
All right, and the last one is 18-005.
Okay.
No, sorry.
That,
Oh, I'm sorry, wait a minute.
We just did.
We just did that, I
yep.
apologize. Where am I? sorry, 18-002.
Okay.
I'll make the motion that we request town council to file a amended certificate of lien with regard to case number 18-002.
Second, Mr. Mashaka, seconds, any discussions, in favor, unanimous, good, okay. All right, that's a good catch, thank you, Mr. Ferentz.
Yeah.
That would have been an issue someday, no doubt, so.
Yeah,
That's
so I'm
good.
glad we caught it.
Yep, all right. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right, a motion to, thank you, Mr. Washaka, seconded by Mr. Burke, and everybody, unanimous. Oh, nice. Thank you, we're adjourned.